And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic, folks. I'll take your car questions soon at 888 Car Clinic. But first, on the Car Clinic hotline with us now is Raymond Kiefer, General Motors Active Safety Technical Fellow. As GM moves toward its vision of a world with zero crashes, that's right, zero crashes, the company partnered with the University of Michigan Transportation Research Institute to understand the real-world effectiveness of some of its available active safety or driver assistance and advanced headlighting, features that may prevent or mitigate different types of crashes. The results, you'll be most interested, show that several of these features are making a statistically significant impact in helping to reduce crashes. Raymond, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Thank you for having me.
A quick question before we get into the nuts and bolts. Raymond, what is an Active Safety Technical Fellow?
It basically means you're recognized as somebody that has deep expertise in your particular area.
And so you're recognized as an authoritative figure because of, obviously, your background and your education. So we'll get right into the nuts and bolts. Share with our Car Clinic listeners and viewers details about this study with the University of Michigan, and how did you compile all the data?
So as was mentioned, we partnered with the University of Michigan Transportation Research Institute. We put together 3.7 million vehicle identification numbers, or vehicles, which indicated the feature content on those vehicles. And then we gave them over to the University of Michigan to match those vehicles to crashes that occurred in 10 different states. They have access to crash databases. Those vehicles represent 20 different models representing a broad range of sedan, trucks, and small, medium, and large utility vehicles. And so we found some very interesting results that, we're moving closer, we think, to a world of zero crashes for many types of common crashes. So I can give you some examples of some of the, what I would say, big crash reduction numbers we found.
Yeah, please do.
So, for example, automatic emergency braking, sometimes called forward automatic braking, is reducing about half of all rear-end striking crashes. And reverse automatic braking is reducing the vast majority of backing crashes, by a whopping 81%.
Wow.
In addition, when we looked at vehicles that had both high-intensity discharge headlamps and IntelliBeam, we saw a 49% reduction in nighttime crashes involving animals, pedestrians, and bicyclists. So as I say, those are some big crash reduction numbers.
No question. That's amazing. The numbers speak for themselves. And folks, we're talking with Raymond Kiefer, General Motors Active Safety Technical Fellow. So, Raymond, what surprised you most of the findings?
Well, we had confidence that many of these features were reducing crashes. I think one of the real important findings is that we found that features that offer automatic braking control, like automatic emergency braking and reverse automatic braking, we're reducing crashes by probably twice as much as their alert-only counterparts. So those features have the advantage of not relying on the driver to respond quickly with the right action when an accident situation happens. And those features with automatic control can also kind of respond quickly to sudden crash situations that a driver may not to. So that's a real promising finding, and I think bodes well for where we're heading towards this zero crash vision at GM.
Well, to that end, you said heading. Share with our Car Clinic listeners and viewers, do you expect these features to be standard on most models and makes of vehicles? And if so, any idea when we'll see them in showroom floors en masse?
So many of these features are already broadly available on most GM models, and we'll be offering automatic emergency braking standard on 8 2020 models, including the Cadillac CT5, CT6, XT4, XT5, and XT6, the Buick Encore GCX, Chevrolet Equinox, and GMC Terrain. And we fully expect to have automatic emergency braking on virtually all our light-duty vehicles by the end of 2022.
So just two final questions, Raymond, if you will. On the backside, how do you test, and just the short story, how do you test one of these? I mean, do you take an automobile and park it between two and then back up and try to create an accident on the GM proving ground?
So there's a really broad amount of testing that goes on by some really talented active safety engineers that do testing at the proving grounds, on-road testing to get these features ready for production. And, I'm just happy to be able to represent all the effort that those engineers have put into to make these systems as safe as they are. And we're hoping these data generate further interest in these features by consumers and will increase the use of some of these systems. And these type of data will identify more opportunities for us to, make our roads safer and identify more scenarios that we can try and tackle.
Well, no doubt about that. And I guess finally, Raymond, the $1 million question, how do we get to a world with zero crashes?
That's a great question, and we are aggressively thinking about that. There are many factors that contribute to crashes, including impaired driving, making sure people are wearing their seatbelts, trying to take the errors out or help people that when they do make errors in normal driving. But, safe driving is kind of the cornerstone of it. And, moving toward a world of automated vehicles that can address some of these human errors is kind of where we're heading. And, that's kind of a pathway to this road to zero crashes.
Well, that's a question that I not only do I get asked here on Car Clinic, but I was asked by another engineer that was in the house just this morning. What's your opinion of self-driving automobiles? And I won't get into that right now, but he was surprised when I endorsed the self-driving automobiles, as I told him humans don't have eyes in the back of their head, and self-driving automobiles do 360 degrees. So I'm all for technology. I sincerely believe in it. I've seen it work, and I think that what you're doing and what your associates at General Motors are doing means the world, and it only means the world if you happen to be in a crash, folks. And so this information is valuable, and we're going to make this your time, Raymond. We're going to make this available on our Watch Bobby Live to run this. What we're hearing during today's broadcast 365 days a year, because it's really important. And I want to invite you back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic as you go forward with the next data, the next find, the next step in the way forward to reducing the crashes, which saves lives, saves money, and just is great for everyone. Raymond Kiefer, General Motors Active Safety Technical Fellow. Indeed, Raymond, thank you so much for joining us today on Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Thank you so much, and happy to come back.